Many anthropologists study religion, but we study it somewhat differently from the way theologists or philosophers might study it. We study it from a social perspective, so the objective of our research is not to discover whether a religion is correct or incorrect, true or untrue, but really how it functions in people's everyday lives and what kind of work it does in terms of helping people understand for themselves what it means to be human, and then teaching us, the anthropologists, what it means to this group of people to be human. So there's an anthropologist that I like to draw on when we talk about religion, who's a little dated. He was writing at the beginning of the 20th century. But so even though the language is a little dusty, there's some core to the definition that I find very useful. So the definition of anthropology that we use in this class is from, so the name of the anthropologist is Emil Durkheim, and he says, "A religion is a unified system of beliefs and practices relative to sacred things, that is to say, things set apart and forbidden, beliefs and practices which unite into one single moral community called a church, and all those who adhere to them. Religion must be an eminently collective thing." So the language is a little dated, but the ideas behind it are really quite profound and still very relevant for anthropological studies of religion. The first part is that religion is a unified system of beliefs and practices. And what's important here is that what we're talking about is not whether there is or isn't a supreme being or several supreme beings or some kind of force or power or any of those things, because as anthropologists it's quite irrelevant to us. What's important to us is what people believe and what people do. And so here we say, Durkheim says that a religion is a unified system of beliefs and practices. In other words, beliefs that enforce or that define what practices you will participate in, and practices that reify what it is that you believe in. So beliefs define what the practices are going to be. The practices help those who partake confirm or learn what it is that they believe in, and indeed they exist in a cyclical relationship, a symbiotic relationship. One reinforces the other. So beliefs and practices, practices and beliefs, and at its very core that is all that a religion is. Things that you believe in, and therefore things that you do which reinforce, or sometimes if it's the first time, just teach you what are the things that you believe in. Which is all good and well, but it's not quite enough, because almost everything, almost any belief system, whether it's religious or not, anything you believe in, you might say is a system of beliefs and practices. We believe certain things, therefore we do certain things. We do certain things which teach us what to believe. And so that in itself is not quite enough to narrow it down to what's unique about religion. And so Durkheim says that it's a unified system of beliefs and practices relative to sacred things. And so it's not just any beliefs and practices, it's those that are specifically focused on the sacred. Now, what is sacred? I'm glad you asked.